Welcome back to beyoungministry.blogspot.com to another podcast out of Ephesians chapter 1. We're in verses 5 and 6, which reads, In love he predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ, in accordance with his pleasure and will, to the praise of his glorious grace, which he has freely given us in the one he loves. Adoption is one of the most enduring realities ever. It was before God created, and it will outlast this world. Adoption is greater than the universe and is founded in God's nature. It is and goes beyond this world. We learn in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 5, in love he predestined us for adoption. Adoption was God's idea before he created. That's startling to think about. Before he created, it was his idea. Predestination happened before the foundation of the world. That we should be holy and blameless before him. We learned that in our previous study. Before we existed, God looked on us in our need, and he decided his son would be crucified and would rise from the dead in order to make atonement for the sin of the believer. Our adoption has never been based on our performance, our worth, or any goodness that we could somehow produce. Our adoption is based upon the character of God. From the beginning, he knew he would choose to be unworthy and unfit. He knew we would be, but he also knew he'd take our place. So, seeing our need, he chose us and predestined us for adoption. He is, by nature, love, and it was his love that caused him to make salvation a possibility for the believing soul. In verse 5 we read, He predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ. We are adopted only through Jesus Christ, which means God had to atone for our sinfulness if we were going to spend an eternity in heaven and not in hell. God did this knowing that we would be enemies in rebellion against him. In ancient Rome, when a child was born, the parents had the option of disowning their child for a variety of reasons. I don't get that. As a dad, I could never disown any of my sons. The relationship, therefore, was not necessarily desired by the parent nor permanent, since, according to Roman law, they could disown their child. Not so, however, if a child was adopted. Once a child was adopted, it was sealed. In Rome, adopting a child meant the child was freely chosen by the parents, desired by the parents, and that child would be a permanent part of the family. The parents couldn't disown a child they had adopted. An adopted child received a new identity. Any prior commitments, responsibilities, and debts were erased. New rights, responsibilities were realized. In the ancient Roman world, the concept of inheritance was part of life, not something that began at death. Being adopted made someone an heir, a joint heir to all the father's possessions. This teaching is a constant reminder that we are fully desired by God and fully loved by him. In addition, we have taken a new identity through Jesus Christ, and we are, get this, co-heirs with Christ. If you want to know more about that, read Romans chapter 8, particularly verse 17. According to verse 6 of our text, we were adopted for the praise of the glory of God's grace. We were made to enjoy all eternity with God. Nothing else will satisfy our souls. Therefore, if God did not exalt himself for us to enjoy, we would be eternally incomplete. God had to exalt himself. It had to be for the praise of his glorious grace. And if God did not exalt himself, we would eternally be incomplete, separated from all that's good. But God adopted us so that we would enjoy making much of him and his grace forever. This is the meaning of adoption. I like what Blaise Pascal once said, and I'll close with this. Happiness is neither without us nor within us. It is in God, but without us and within us. I know it'll take a while to get that. That's a deep saying. My friend, I trust if I can be of any help to you, you can shoot me an email at beyoungministry@gmail.com. Hey, have a great day.